be, yeah, quick to change your mind. And I know it's me that followed you in blind. I could say that you didn't need, but you wanted me. Maybe I was wrong, even want wasn't anything. So if we had another chance, I would never let you steal my lips. Breathe me back to
Hello guys, Termex here, and welcome back to another Flak build in 2024. I know, it's crazy. I recently made a Flak build that was very survival heavy and survival dependent, making Flak borderline unkillable, but I know people are actually requesting for a actual amazing damage Flak build, so that's what I'm here to provide for you guys today. Now, just so you know, I try to do a little balance with my builds. I want you guys to have fun, have freedom to use whatever guns you like, and this build perfectly resembles that. You could hot swap to rakk attack, hot swap back to fadeaway without needing to respec whenever you would like, and use whatever gun you really want to use. And for my PC players, this build will be a save file in the description down below if you are so happen to be interested in that. But I would argue the fact that this is Flak's best build to current date if you're not using the generic exploit melee damage or anything like that. So the first thing we're going to go over into is gear. Now, for the people that are farming this build, I would actually recommend the Hellwalker because it's easy to obtain, it has fixed parts, and you could just reroll it at the reroll machine. Very easy to get, and it's probably one of Flak's best weapons he has in his arsenal, and I would recommend on action skill and weapon damage specifically because next 2 mags will be up literally that quick. When the 100% damage, you can get a lot more use out of it, and I would just personally swing that way. The only other 2 recommended weapons I would say for this build would be are the res pistol. It should just be Flak's go-to regardless of anything. Just being able to swap to it, get your pet up while you're running has saved me so many times in clutch situations, and I don't think people realize that Flak's pet is literally like a security blanket. If you're running a whole Maliwan takedown or Guardian takedown run and you die to a dot and there's no enemy nearby to second wind off of, your pet will always be there to revive you, so having this makes it go both ways. No pet alive means you don't stay alive. And my favorite weapon in the Borderlands franchise, the Hive rocket launcher. I will, to the day I die, I will stand this rocket launcher. I love it so much. It's great on Flak, it's a great AoE, and you could just blaze through the Maliwan takedown, Guardian takedown, any room with any ads, you could just go into fadeaway, slide, shoot. Now, the reason I say use it in fadeaway is because the anointment I personally always go with is elemental critical hits can cause a status effect of that element to explode, creating a nova that deals 500% of the status effect's damage. So if you go up to the status effect damage on the Hive is 73,000. Multiply that by 500% and make it AoE, and you could see where we're going with that. Very, very nice, and in tandem with Flak being able to use his Hunter's Secret Grenades, which is the grenades we are rocking in this build, we could hit Leave No Trace procs, making it regen ammo back into the launcher, so even though we have 1 bullet left, we still shoot with full damage. And I recommend using either on action skill and radiation or fire with this, depending on what anointments are on your other weapons. And of course, you've probably seen it coming, we have the Revolter on action skill starts, any effects will trigger, so every time we pop into fadeaway, pop a rakk attack, we get that bonus electrical damage that everybody loves. I rolled with double absorb, which is not too bad. I know a lot of people like to go with capacity, but it's the only one I have currently, so based on your playstyle, adjust that and tune it. The relic, we're going to rock with the toboggan. Now, I know people are going to argue use the Pearl of Knowledge with a build that's very gun-centric, but personally, I don't think we need it, and we're using a lot of single target and single shooting weapons, so getting that slide speed and that 100% amp is really good. I unfortunately got assault rifle damage on my roll. I think there's other rolls for other benefits, but we have magazine size and shock resistance, and that shock resistance is really good for keeping our shield up. One thing I do love about that is we get the amp for simply sliding, so if we slide, shoot, you could actually time it pretty well to where you could slide, shoot, and get that 100% amp on top of your fadeaway, which is just really nice. And finally, the class mod is going to be the Bounty Hunter class mod for obvious reasons. We have splash damage for our rocket launcher, weapon damage for everything, and shotgun for the Hellwalker specifically. Use the class mod rolls based on what you're doing. I also have a lot of other good ones on the save file. We have weapon damage, SMG, and Hyperion crit. That's mainly for the redistributor because because it's Hyperion and it crits and it's an SMG, so it helps that a lot. So we have a grenade build, grenade damage, grenade capacity. If you want to hold the Guardian Angel while spamming Hunter Seeker grenades, that's actually how I kill Hemovorus in one of the intro clips. I literally don't shoot Hemovorus. I pull out the Guardian Angel, spam all my grenades, and run around the arena because honestly, all the Varkids drop more grenades and you have infinite grenades during that fight. So being able to just run around and not shoot anything, it makes it pretty damn fun to just kill Hemovorus that way. The other one I have is just a straight up SMG and weapon damage. If you want to use something like the Plasma Coil and a Vladoff fire rate weapon damage, that's mainly for like your Monarchs or things like that. If you really wanted to, I did have another one in here, the Jacob shotgun and Jacob's weapon crit. I would say these are your go-to rolls, and even the reload speed is pretty damn nice for a build like this. If you're specifically only using the Hellwalker, this is probably a god roll class mod because you get the reload speed, you get the raw shotgun damage, but you get the guaranteed crit damage on top of a Jacob's already having pretty decent crit. This is the go-to bounty hunter. I've had this bounty hunter ever since I think a year ago, and I use a save editor to just bring it up from 60, whatever the old level cap was, from 60 up to 72. Now over into the skill tree, I'm not going to go over every single skill. You could just copy and paste. We know the game's pretty old by now, but we have the skills that matter the most. I only put turn, tail, and run for the 1 or 2 use cases where you're going to be standing still with this build, and when you do, you want to have that extra gun damage and fire rate. And for the fadeaway, we just went fadeaway with Until You Are Dead for the health regen and movement speed, and then the extra critical per hit with Unblinking Eye, and Purple Tree being abused as always, only using it for the agility training, giving us that 40% weapon reload speed. In the blue tree, this might get a little controversial, but we went with the 5 stacks of Frenzy with Heat Bites, because the way Heat Bites functions is when a enemy shoots your pet, it will guarantee ricochet the damage. It's only 5%, but that doesn't matter because that ricochet damage counts for a stack of Frenzy because technically it's pet damage, so we can get another 40% damage benefit just for everything damaging my pet. And I threw one more point into Psycho Head on a stick just so my pet's AI is a little bit better. I know it sounds dumb, but the fact they can move faster helps them getting unstuck in certain places and get to you when you need to be revived, and sometimes it saved my life many a times in the Maliwan takedown when they run a little bit faster. And then finally for the orange tree, we got everything traditional that we usually get. I did not spec Grim Harvest because I wanted damage elsewhere, and the only really important thing here for this build is Leave No Trace and the extra reload speed from Second Intention, just if you're going to be using that Hellwalker mainly. The pet we went with is the Scorcher for the elemental damage because that 10% elemental damage will give us more than the Great Horn Skag in the damage formula, as this is V1 damage and this is V2 damage. Basically with the damage formula, you want things from multiple sources. You pull the max amount of damage possible. 200% gun damage won't function the same as 100% gun damage plus 100% elemental damage. 9 times out of 10, these split damage benefits will do more damage. We are, of course, on Mayhem 11, and that is basically the entire gear setup and the skill trees. And that is my hyper really good Flak build to solo all content with. Insert clickbait thumbnail title here, but that is the ultimate Flak build in 2024 for all the Flak mains that want to just have fun with him once again, or if you made one of those new characters and you want to see where the good Flak build is. Let me know if you guys want to see more Flak builds in the future. Hit the like button down below as it does spread my content out to more people in the Borderlands community, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on another video from me, guys. Stay safe, and I will see you all later.